Attention on deck.
Your instructor is a Top Gun graduate with real-world experience in every mission aspect you will be expected to master. His exploits are legendary, and he's considered to be one of the finest pilots this program has ever produced. What he has to teach you may very well mean the difference between life and death. I give you Captain Pete Mitchell. Call sign, Maverick.
Good morning.
Liverpool lost to Nottingham Forest at Anfield. And that is not the kind of news we were expecting, right? In light of the way they went into the international break, 3 straight wins, no goals conceded. It was a really good run that they opened the season with. And, they went for internationals and then they came back and unfortunately went the way it did. Is it just a case of the international break just coming at the wrongest time? And I heard something about, anyway, I don't need to speculate. I did bring up an article that I thought might give us a pretty good, it should give us a good idea. Just give me a sec here. I wanted to be able to read it clearly. Yeah, let's not even waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Liverpool. Okay, Alisson concedes his first goal of the season as the Reds lose to Nottingham Forest. And it was a shock. I saw the goal, Carlson Hudson-Odoi. It was a really good goal. But I won't, to be fair, it kind of seemed to me that maybe it's possible that Alisson was unsighted for it, because, right, I typically I'd expect him to, dive at that, hands outstretched, and yeah, it might curl past him, but it just kind of seems like the ball was past him, the shot had gone past him before he had a clear idea of what happened. But anyway, yeah, Alisson says the loss is a reality check. Well, no, this is still the article. The loss is a reality check for Arnie Slot, who had previously been flying high at Liverpool with 3 wins from 3. Moreover, the Reds hadn't conceded a single goal. Yeah, so, it was quite a surprise. Yeah, so, yeah, no invincible for him. Though I'm not sure who is still trying to do invincible these days. League title is a league title. Alisson lays down Liverpool blame in Nottingham Forest win. So it's probably just going to be talking about the rest of them and saying that, it's on them and all of that. But I just wanted to look at who did he say particularly. Okay, so he says we didn't create so many clear chances because they defended really well, but also a little bit of poor football from our side today. We didn't adapt quickly enough. We conceded 3 counter-attacks before we conceded a goal on a counter-attack. We should defend it better in those situations. Hudson-Odoi had too much freedom to do whatever he wanted with the ball, dribbling inside and shooting. It was poor defending from us. It was poor defending, fair enough. Arnie Slot gets it wrong as Liverpool suffer shock Anfield defeat. Nottingham Forest manager Nuno Espirito Santo certainly got every decision right at Anfield, from his approach to his substitutions. The boss brought on the match winner in the 54th minute, with his fellow substitute Anthony Elanga grabbing the assist. It was a good tactic, really, especially the goal scorer coming on, that's fine, but even the guy who provided the assist, Elanga, also coming on as a substitute, that tells you that there was a plan. And the fact that the match was at Anfield kind of tells you exactly what that plan is. You go there, low block, let them, let the Liverpool, smash against your shield. You just try and hold on. You get to halftime. When you get to halftime, you come out, and then the first 15 minutes you try and hold, you watch, and then if you're sure that okay, especially you, the coach, if you're on the sidelines and you're looking and you're like, my boys have got this, then you're like, okay, fine. If they've got this, what kind of changes? What are the tactical tweaks do I make now to spring the pieces needed for just the one good counter attack that, will give us a smash and grab. Standard procedure for a mid team going to the home of a giant like Liverpool. It's what anybody would do. It's what anybody with a smaller team outside the top six would do, and even some teams in the top six would do that as well. So the logic was sound. A guy like Elanga, and I have noticed this. Elanga is one of those guys that if you start him from the game, he's very fast, he's very quick, he's got good skill, but I think he tends to lose something within the game. He gets to a point where Elanga can just he can just drift in the game. He's in the game, he can make runs, he can do a lot of exciting things, but if he starts the game, there's a good chance that somewhere in the middle he just, kind of like fades out. So another good idea to have him start from the bench, because when he's coming from the bench, you've got somebody who is primed. Maybe he's been watching the game. Maybe this coaching crowd been telling you that take notes, watch, see where you can make the most impact. And then you bring him on as a sub. He's ready. He's good to go. The other team has played. There might be a drop in focus, a drop in energy levels, the kind of things that he can then exploit. So nothing wrong with the tactics at all by Nottingham Forest. There is certainly nothing wrong with that. Okay, so the article says, conversely, Slot simply got it wrong, with the manager having made a triple substitution on the hour mark. Okay. His side conceded not long after with two of those changes in Darwin Núñez and Bradley, both at fault for the goal. Núñez lost the ball much too easily before Forest broke free, with Bradley giving Hudson-Odoi far too much space and time to find the back of the net. Well, I do know that sometimes when you make that many substitutions at once, 3 players for another 3 all at once, realistically there's always going to be a breakdown in communication that is only reestablished as the game goes on. That breakdown in communication being that you're taking out 3 guys who were playing with the other 8 in identified systems and styles of play. So when you take off those 3 guys and bring on 3 new guys, the 3 new guys have been told by the team, by the staff, by the manager and his staff, that this is what you guys are going in there to do. But that's still going to take a couple of minutes. That's still going to take a couple of minutes to translate throughout the entire team so that everybody knows what the other person is doing. And more often than not, the 3 people that come in, if they are not primed, if they are not on it, right? Especially, I think when there's no jeopardy yet. If you're coming on to a game where you're already losing, you're coming on with a sense of urgency. You want to come on and immediately try and make a difference. So I think your attention span, your focus levels are better. But if it's still goalless, or if you are ahead, and when you are home, I think that there can be a bit of complacency, and certainly the fact that Liverpool lost in the first place tells us that there was a bit of complacency, right? International break can disrupt your rhythm, but you don't go to Old Trafford and have the drive, intensity, and focus to win 3-0 there, and then you walk onto the field, you're playing Nottingham Forest, you're in front of the Cup. There will always be that bit of complacency. That's the truth. It's just that sometimes it can take a near chance by the opposite team, and you guys wake up and be like, okay, no need for sleeping here. Let's be on this, right? But certainly, I'm going to just assume that there must have been some complacency on the part of Liverpool because they were at home, because it was Nottingham Forest, and everybody just expected them to pick up the 3 points. I have seen this happen in football. We all have. We've all seen it happen in football. I mean, time after time. Just that little one moment, and the team that was already in a low block suddenly have a goal to defend. The low block just gets stronger, certainly in terms of mentality and psychologically. The low block team just gets that, brand new oxygen from going a goal up. So I think that's just really what happened to Liverpool. once that complacency was there, they just kept, going through the motions, not too well, but just with the expectation eventually Salah's going to get it done or some other person is going to get it done. And then you give up the goal. And now it becomes difficult because now you're chasing the game. It was no longer, even if we just score one last minute goal and we've got the 3 points. Now you need a goal just to get back on equal footing, right? So it's just how terrible football can be when that twist ending just shows up and wow, there it is. Your opponents have scored, even though you guys have had like 85% of the possession. You guys have like 10 shots on target and 25 on goal. That kind of, it's football. It just happens. But okay, to just round this up, yeah, Nunes lost the ball much too easily. So yeah, like you're still trying to get up to speed. Everybody can say what they want about Nunes, but you have to understand that when you come into a game like that, it takes you a couple of minutes, right? You don't just run into the field and hey, no, there are some circumstances that will help you to be in that mind frame. But if it's still goalless and you guys are thinking this goal is just going to appear any moment from now, you can come into the field, be trying to, get comfortable with the ball, and you get robbed, and the next thing your team is exposed. Yeah. So and this, talking about the fellow substitutions, Gakpo, Costas, and Curtis Jones all failed to impress from the bench. This loss brings me back to something I said in my Liverpool review. I talked about the fact that I thought the biggest challenge Liverpool had all of last season was the depth of their bench. Liverpool have a good first 11, but there's not much quality on the bench. I mean, who are we talking about? Gakpo, Tsimikas, Curtis Jones. Even the first two, Darwin Núñez and Conor Bradley, right? These guys are in the Champions League. So I'm not going to come back to the fact that Liverpool have lost the first game of the season. They play the Champions League today. Today's Tuesday. I know they face AC Milan in the Champions League. And we've already spoken on this channel about how footballers are being made to play too many games. From now till the next international break in November, facts. Any team in the top 5, top 6, they will be playing 3 games a week. They'll play weekend, they'll play midweek, and they'll play weekend again. So Liverpool play AC Milan. That's a pedigree game, by the way, even though it's a group stage. But still, Liverpool, AC Milan, these are titans of Champions League. So, yeah, Liverpool play AC Milan today in the Champions League. And it's not as if, we'll see whatever the scoreline of that game is. But the reason why I bring it up is that we're talking about squad depth. A lot of teams are going to be stretched for squad depth this season because there are games, loads and loads of games to play. So what's going to be interesting to find out with Liverpool in the aftermath of this first loss of the season is going to be how do they respond? How does Arnie Slot himself respond?